I'm very honoured and privileged to be here with Janis Johnston today, the co-founder of Courage Hearts. I'm super excited to be able to hear a little bit more about you and find out how people can connect with you and what they're actually connecting with. So Janis, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Terry. It's lovely to be here. So a little bit about Courage Hearts, a little bit about me. So let's start with me. I'm actually been in Australia 40 years yesterday. Can you believe that?
Wow.
So I was born from Scotland. I don't suppose you can hear my accent at all. So came out here, on a bit of an adventure, fell in love with the place and, been back lots, but this is definitely home. So my friend Julie, who our children went to school together, and they're 28. So I've known Julie since all those years. That's, do the maths there, 28 minus 5, 23 years. No, anyway. So we have a child each, and they are best mates. So Julie and I have been friends for years. Our children have been friends for years, and what we used to do, there was a Christmas probably about 5 years ago when we parked all of the guilt about what Christmas means and said to our offspring, hey guys, do you mind if we go off to Bali this year for Christmas and leave you to do your own thing? And they were like, how many more sleeps? Bye, mothers, off you go. So we went to Bali, and we absolutely love Bali. So we've fallen in love with the place, and you'd know, Terry, because you have that real connection with the people, the culture, the countryside, and for us from here in Perth, where we're based, it's three and a bit hours on a plane, so it's absolutely gorgeous. So we started to go there, and when you're in Bali, everything just sort of time slows down, things stand still. So what started to happen was this idea started to percolate about a little program that we could, a little business, a company that we could start up. So it started off quite small, and then it just grew and grew. And Julie, who is the co-founder of Courage Hearts, is one of a few certified facilitators of Brené Brown's work. So Brené Brown, lots of people will know, she's, #1 best-selling, 5 books that are just incredible. And she's really a massive researcher of vulnerability, courage, shame. And so Julie is as I said, one of a few certified facilitators of Brené's work. So part of what we planned was to do fabulous retreats in Bali, where people could come and come to a beautiful place north of Ubud that we'd been to and chosen. And another major part of it was our giving program. So the overarching business is Courage Hearts, but in that we have our little Courage Hearts, which are these beautiful little guys. And I'll tell you a little bit about them. So that's how it all started. And of course, COVID hit, and then we couldn't do the retreats, obviously. So now our main focus, until things settle down and we can get back to Bali and offer this to people, we're focusing on the little Courage Hearts. So this is our giving program. So to tell you a little bit about where these hearts were made, we, through a couple of connections, came across a wonderful group of young people who are deaf. Now, you would know, Terry, unfortunately, any children with disabilities in Bali, if they can't contribute to the family livelihood by earning an income, they're often, ostracized or stigmatized. Some of these children are orphaned. So a beautiful group of people took them on board and started giving them an opportunity to train in how to, build up some skills. So what they have is a little training center north of Ubud, where they've all got sewing machines. They are all profoundly deaf, but just these beaming smiles, their whole face lights up, and they sew various things for people, charities and all sorts. So they actually made these beautiful little hearts, all stitched, all cut out by hand. And what they've filled them with is volcanic ash from Mount Batur. Now, Mount Batur is a volcano which hopefully hasn't erupted for a long time, in north of Ubud, and the volcanic ash from there is very, sacred. The whole Mount Batur is sacred to the Balinese people, but this volcanic ash has, the spiritual quality. So we've filled them. They filled them with the volcanic ash, which is absolutely incredible. So they're lovely little squishy. I don't know if you remember when you were a kid at school, we used to get bean bags. We used to throw them at the boys across the room in Scotland. That was what we did. It was a bit of fun. So they're little, very squishy. They come in 5 colors. So there's a blue one, an orange one, a purple one, a red one, and a green one. And they come with a gorgeous little card, which we had made. And inside that is the story of the beautiful people who make them, and why we are really, really passionate about giving back and giving these people a chance to get some business skills and to earn a bit of money. They will then obviously contribute to their families, which is quite amazing. So that's a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And yeah, I'm very familiar with Bali, having spent many years coming and going from Western Australia over there myself, as you mentioned. And yeah, Mount Batur, I've climbed that twice. Last time it erupted was 1963. So but it's amazing in getting up to the top and being able to see why they see it is so sacred, because you can see where it did erupt. And I mean, it's like from such challenges and tragedy comes life. And there's growth and life coming from it, and they've just been able to create. The Balinese, such an amazing culture, as you know, is like they can create goodness out of anything. And if anything happens to them, they can overcome it by just simple ways. And it is sad that that they don't have access to that medical help, and they are ostracized. Many of them are ostracized from their families. And I've visited many orphanages and different places where the children, they're loved because they're not really wanted at home. So the fact that you've discovered this, and these children are getting an opportunity to be something for themselves, and obviously that's important in their culture, is to give back. In the Western culture, we think that's horrific, that you would actually ostracize a child because they have a disability in some way, shape or form. And yet over there, it's, they're humble. They're very humble. They don't want for a lot of money. So they really do rely on everyone contributing. And so the fact that this is happening is just amazing. Tell me, from the perspective of the hearts and that side of it, that you got involved in it, what is it? Is it that you're selling them, or what's happening with these hearts? Where are they going around the world?
One of the things, Terry, that we thought would be a wonderful, the thing that's happened with COVID, these are all the more, there's every reason, because our little tagline is spread love, hope and kindness. So little courage hearts spreading love, hope and kindness. And right now in this year, I just really firmly believe that there's there's a silver lining in every cloud. And I think right now these beautiful little hearts are just making a massive difference. I got a lovely email from a lady who'd unfortunately had a few health issues. She had cancer, and one of these was sent to her by a friend of ours who had purchased some, and it had arrived with a product that she was buying from them, just as a little extra, just as a little thank you gift. And she took the time to get back and say, guys, you've no idea how touched I am by that beautiful gesture. And it just made a difference. It just sort of giving her courage in that adversity that she's going through. So one of our initial ideas was to have them with your kids, Terry. We do fun runs or fundraising things at schools, and generally it's chocolate frogs, pairs of socks, what else? Some other hot cross buns, all of these. So we thought what a wonderful idea it would be to have these children, taking these beautiful little hearts and, you know, handing them on to people. So one of the things that we came up with was a school fundraiser. We thought would be fabulous for that. So we do have these available for schools that for them to use to raise funds, and we've come up with a really fabulous program that makes it really viable. So for us, we want to make enough money to give back to the beautiful Balinese community, the deaf community that make them, but we also want to give to the people, the schools, the children, the parents, and the school communities that are sharing them. So there's a really fabulous structure that they can use to promote the Little Hearts and spread love, hope and kindness that way. We just sent out 50 of them today to a lady who's sending them to all of her clients. She's got a bookkeeping business south of the river here in Perth. So she's sending them to all of her clients just to say, you know, thank you for sticking with me throughout the year. And they just mean so many different things to people. So if you're going through a bit of a tough time, they're fabulous. So you can buy them on our website. You can use them as a fundraiser. Yeah, so lots and lots of different places that they can, you know, they can fit in. Really, we're open to anything. So as long as it's spreading love, hope and kindness, and we're continuing to be able to say to our Balinese community, here's another order, so that they get their sewing machines out and cut them, stitch them, fill them and send them. And beautiful Maria, she's on a motorbike, as they all do, and goes down to Denpasar and packs them up in a box, and here they arrive on our front doorstep ready for another, you know, sharing thing to happen. Yeah.
Oh, it's so perfect timing too, because it's obviously, like you say, with what's happening around the world, and Bali's been hit so hard from a tourism perspective, and you know, it does create the ripple effect, because even if families or like these children are not directly you know, in contact with tourists as such, you know, maybe that they have people come and visit, but if they're not, it still is from that ripple. And it's, you know, I've found that, you know, from my perspective of talking to the Balinese that I know, you know, they've had to get some courage. They've had to overcome their lack of income, you know, the loss of income or lowering of income. And it's, you know, even in amongst the Balinese, it's a beautiful way to be able to show each other that there's courage, because they show it in their own way and they've got their own little rituals and things like that. But I think it's beautiful. So from our perspective of, and why I really wanted to have this time with you is because, you know, we're very much about being able to spread that love and kindness around the world in so many different ways, and helping people in such a humble way of giving a heart, you know, rather than, there's so much people do. And obviously, you know, people contribute financially for these, they pay for them, but the contribution of giving to someone else means more than sometimes the words that someone says to someone. Because, you know, I think if something's going on in someone's life, so just say that's the reason someone wants to give these hearts, something's going on and someone goes and says something to them, depending how they feel at the time, they may not absorb the words. But when they're given a little gift like this heart that has a meaning to it, it's got that little message with it, it's something that when they're ready, they look at, and then it really makes the difference. So it's such a beautiful gesture. And there's so many, like you said, there's so many different ways that it can be spread around. You know, like you said, the bookkeeper that gave it to her clients, or, you know, for the school children. I'm thinking, my creative brain's going, oh, it's Mother's Day, you know, you could,
Yes.
children
Yes.
could get them, the school could fundraise by them, you know, get the hearts with their fundraising, and then give them to the mothers for Mother's Day, or grandmas and things like that. Or Christmas is coming up.
Christmas,
it's the time for love. So it's just so perfect. So just to go a little bit, let's go back just a tiny little bit. So you said, you know, you and Julie went to Bali, you had this passion, and you came up with this concept, so to speak. Long story short, Julie's Brené Brown facilitator. What's your background?
So my background is in sales and marketing. So I'm in Roger's profile, I'm a supporter, and That's what I love. So I love people contact. I love chatting with people. And if I have a product that I'm passionate about, I just want to share it with people. So I just find it easy to talk about something. Like, don't ask me to sell Tupperware or anything like that, Terry. I've got, cupboards full of the stuff. But if it's something I'm passionate about, I have absolutely no problem in talking about it and just inviting people to come on board and support it or not. That's absolutely fine. So, yeah, definitely sales and marketing. I've worked in the wine industry for about 16 years and still do a bit of that from time to time. But right now, when Julie and I started going to Bali, there's something massive shifts, and it is an energetic thing when you go to Bali. There's something about the need, absolute need to give back that is, for us, it was just pulling at our heartstrings. So we, at that age and stage in our lives, that was absolutely what we wanted to do. So yeah, and when it's something that is helping someone, it is even easier to share it with people. So for me, it's about people who are on the front line, doctors, nurses that are doing it tough. Imagine someone just coming along and just saying, look, thank you for everything that you've been doing. Here is a little courage heart from me, and you can just write a tiny little message that just says, thank you, thinking of you. And it's that sort of, as you say, it's a small gesture, but it just really touches people. And we've had people in tears when they've received one of these. Julie works at UWA. She lectures there, and her students, she gave them all. Now it's been really tough for students, like everyone. We've been all had to take what was a face-to-face lecture theatre scenario and put it all online. And these students have really been challenged with mental health issues to do with, stress that they've never had to deal with before. And one of these little courage hearts is just saying, yeah, look, you've been so courageous, so brave, and this is an acknowledgement for you. So they've lots of them have been shared that way as well. So.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And I'd love to see everybody, and even I haven't got any yet. So
I know, Terry, because I thought we were doing this face to face. I had a little bundle set aside for you. But of course, totally forgot that it was got to be Zoom. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. I mean, the thing is, that's the thing is people can connect with you like this as well. And, so for those that do want to know more about this, because I mean, particularly with global impact entrepreneurs, Annalise and I partnered up with that. It's like your story with Julie. It's very similar. We didn't go to Bali, but we had a passion to be able to create a greater impact globally. And starting off, she's in the US and I'm here, but starting off a little bit locally and then moving it out. And so our goal is to bring in people who are very impact driven like yourself, that really do, want to make a difference in this world, whether it be to children, disadvantaged children in Bali, or whether it be someone else in another country that's struggling. We can all contribute in some way, shape or form. And the idea of this community is to bring these amazing people together and us being able to support each other through that journey. And so what you're doing, I remember when we first met and I went, oh my God, that's just amazing. This is perfect for what we, and you were one of the first, obviously, that came on board with us. And it was like perfect for what we're trying to express to everyone, to say, and it is about courage. It is about people having the courage to make changes at the moment, because so many in business have had to make changes, and they had to be courageous because they had to step away from what they've known. Like you said, the students at the university, and they've had to be courageous at home because they've had to face their partners when they have the potential of losing their jobs, or the business is not getting the income, or they've had to close their business doors. So people have had to find courage. Not everyone's been really great at that. So I think from my perspective, I know from my perspective, we can all give courage to other people, even if it's just in that heart, while we're making a profound difference to others. So how can people contact you?
So the best way to contact us is by, can go on to Courage Hearts. We have a Facebook page, Courage Hearts, Instagram, the website, through the website, or email, janice@couragehearts.com. Yeah, so we've lots of places, social media, obviously, and the website and email would be the best way, Terry. I'd love to hear from people, even if it's if someone's got an idea and it maybe we haven't thought of it yet. We just are open to exploring so many different ways of sharing this. So if you go to our website and say, that doesn't quite, that's not what I'm looking for, please get in touch, because we are seriously open to whatever it is that you've got in mind. We just want to spread this. For instance, we've got a beautiful woman who is part of the deaf community in Bali and is a massive influencer. She did a lot here. She's now moved to Vancouver in Canada, and so she wants to chat with us about how she can, work with us to spread love, hope and kindness through the little Courage Hearts, and also to help the deaf community in Bali and the deaf community that she's involved with. Now, this is an interesting concept, Terry, because over Zoom, we have a beautiful friend who's an Auslan interpreter. So Auslan is the sign language that people have been doing, and we've been seeing that lots over COVID when, politicians and everything have been explaining about things. These amazing people who can, who can sign. So we're having her come, so that, that's incredible. I just feel so humbled by that, so it's the Auslan interpreter will come, and, we'll have this conversation to see what can be done. So that's pretty incredible. Yeah. And I know the Balinese, the community that we met and worked with and who made our little Courage Hearts, are looking to come up with a sign language that is specific to the Balinese, because there is an Indonesian sign language, but the Balinese is quite different. So they, the two people who are sort of running the little training center that makes the hearts, are working with those powers that be to come up with a language that is Balinese. So that's pretty exciting.
Beautiful. Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize that Bali's such a tourist attraction when you can go there. And a lot of people just think that, the language is just the language, but it's not. It's different. There is the Indonesian, the Bahasa, and there is the Balinese. And for those that speak Balinese, not everyone does speak Balinese in Bali, interestingly enough. I discovered that many years ago. Mostly they all know Indonesian in some way, shape or form, but some of the really strong cultural people just speak Balinese, and it's different wording, like terima kasih to suksema, the words are different. So it's beautiful that you can, we can all get that awareness of these other cultures and realize that we can learn from them. And that's what you've done. You've gone over and your hearts have been touched. And, you've seen the courage from it and seen what's happening from it. And we can all be a part of that. I know that we can. Imagine if each and every person that gets to listen to this, gets to listen to your story, just contributes in some way, shape or form to someone else, meaning that they will get the hearts from you, and then is giving it to other people, whether it be clients or family members or whoever it is that needs that courage. Because at some stage in everyone's life, we all need it. And it's many times for some people. And,
right.
My brain goes crazy of the amount of people that I could send this to. And it's like, even my, youngest daughter in particular, where you send her a gift and it's something like this, that's not something expensive, or it's just something really thought out. And it has significant meaning, and that's the sort of thing she loves. And there's a lot of people like her. So, I think what I'd love to say to everyone that gets to listen to your story is get on board and support, because this is for the contribution of these Balinese children and to make a difference, which ultimately does support the Balinese culture in itself, because there are a lot of children that have challenges, like deafness and different things, but it's also to support how you can give back to your clients or your family or your friends, or just you need a little courage yourself and have them sitting on your desk or whatever. So let's all connect in, get that support. And I know, Janis, that you're going to contribute massively to this, to our community. And you're our courage. You're our courage ambassador.
Yes. Oh, that's wonderful, Terry. Yeah, that's really great. I love, I feel that, and it's, even another thing that I've just thought of, for Are You OK Day, as we all know, people who are suffering from mental health issues, depression, what have you, we gave a whole heap of little courage hearts that were part of a sort of thank you or a welcome pack that this company made up. So little courage hearts were a huge part of that. And I think, as you said earlier, there are a lot of people who are doing it tough, and it is impacting the mental health of many people. So I just feel that there's so many places, ways that you can make a difference to people. And the fabulous thing about what is happening in the world, and there's, as we all know in the news, there's lots of stuff that is happening in the world. But what I feel is that there's this groundswell of how humanity is actually going back to grassroots and going back to values that sometimes we've just forgotten because life gets in the way. So for me, it's about, this is just a way to show people that you actually care, and just have a little pile of them sitting in your glove box of your car or in your bag or wherever, and in your desk, and just give them to the guy that makes your beautiful cappuccino in the morning, or the lollipop person. What do you call these crosswalks with the chips? Do that. I see them standing out there in all weather, and I just think it's just that here you are, and just seeing that smile and that gratitude, it just fills my heart. That's what it does. I start to tear up a bit, which is a sign that it's something that you're passionate about.
And that's what the message we want to get across. It's very humbling, like I said. Janis, thank you so much. This has been amazing. It's lovely to hear. I mean, obviously I've heard part of your story before, but to hear it at that level is just phenomenal. And if it doesn't touch everyone that listens to this, then okay, that's all right. It's not for everyone, but it's for the masses, I believe. And I can see your little heart in behind your shoulder there. So that's perfect. And that's the thing, we can all have a bigger heart, and sometimes we need the courage to have that bigger heart come out. So on that note, I want to thank you very much for your time, and look forward to you making a profound difference to the community and to the world, and us being able to give back so that you can make a difference to these children at a greater level than you already are.
I'm really looking forward to it, and what you're doing with the global village, it's just incredible. So I'm really looking forward to connecting more with people that are coming on board, and it's really, really exciting. So to you and your team, thanks so much for your support. And we'll be in touch, and I'd love you to send me your address so I can send you some little courage hearts that you can start spreading love, hope and kindness down your way, Terry, with our compliments and love. So there you go.
Thank you. That's perfect. All right. Thanks, Janis. All right, so everyone, we will have Janis's details available for you all, so you'll be able to connect with her, and please do, even if it's just initially to say hi. Janis would love that. I know she's a people person, she loves that connection, but definitely everyone reach out in some way, shape or form. Okay, thanks Janis.
See you, bye.
Bye.